Happy Wednesday. I hope you are well. A bit of fatigue in my body today, but that's okay. I want to do I'm going to try to make it prompt because that's what I like to do for you, is to make prompt little videos which you can quickly skip through, get a few strategies, go on with the day, and then hopefully remember these little tables voices in your head when you do your kitchen things. One word that is at the forefront and the beating heart of the table is sustainable. Now, sustainability is a word that I often referred to as being environmentally sustainable, with sustainable practices, saving the world, climate crisis, etc. In La Table, the word sustainable is very much colored and shaped by every individual family. So for some families, it may be sustainable because they save some money, so it's financially sustainable for them. So the word sustainability all of a sudden really have multiple definitions to make it a sustainable practices in time that serves your family, in terms of bringing well-being, happiness, and good sustainable practices for the present and the future in your family dynamic. And it's not just in the way you source food, but in the way that also in a moment. So I decided to take my dinner that's happening tonight, should be happening tonight, to demonstrate a few sustainable behaviors that makes sense of that word sustainable, in terms of how I use it in the Table's way. So tonight is pizza. So I've got two here, an old upcycled sushi packet and an upcycled frozen berry packet, and inside is a pizza bowl. So I've got two pizza bowls, pizza dough. Now I bring sustainability in my kitchen in doing pizza that way because I made a big batch of pizza dough last time I made pizza. I had my big metal ball and I made 3 times a recipe. I think it was recipe for 8 and I made recipe for 24. I made heaps of pizza that time, and then I froze a few bowls of that pizza dough for later. So this is when the word sustainable becomes meaningful for me at La Table. Making in big batches ensures that I have these extra ready to go in the freezer. It ensures that when I do want to do pizza and I'm short on time, or I want to avoid having to drive or doing extra shopping, it is there available for me. It's been made by me with the ingredients that I know. It's beautiful and delicious. So sustainable practice in making a batch of pizza dough for me, sustainable for my family. We keep going around the kitchen. One of the sustainable practices that I have in relation to these pizza dough is the fact that I purchase the spelt flour that goes into that in bulk of 10 kilos. So in my little cupboard here, I've got at the back, I've got a few bulk items here, and right at the bottom are these beautiful cotton bag that can be upcycled. It's got 10 kilos of locally sourced spelt flour. Now, buying in bulk this spelt flour from Boron Biodynamic has a lot of sustainable meaning for my family. I'll state a few for you, otherwise we'll be here all day. It is sustainable in building a very precious relationship and connection between who grows your food for my children, as positive food education as a lifetime skill for them. So when I order bulk, the farmers come and deliver to my house. The kids get to interact and see that farmer to plate concept. They get to develop and nurture their thankfulness and gratefulness for the person whom have grown the food. And that follows through all the way up to actually eating it and knowing and connecting that this person that shows up at their door actually has put their hand in the dirt and did the deed to grow the food. So my pizzas tonight are sustainable for my family because of the connection I create and show for my children to be grateful for our local homegrown food that we have available in our community. I buy in bulk because the cycle of grocery shopping I have broken up with few years ago. I still go to the grocery, but mainly my things will come in bulk, and that for me is massive. It takes so much mental space out and so much of these little stressful battles of dropping at the grocery at the last minute very often, and it's not just the driving and using the petrol, or it's just all the little overload of information that comes with going shopping. That's just not something that I connect with anymore, and that I would do on a weekly basis. It just doesn't suit me in sustainable ways. In terms of energy it takes out of me, overload of information, having to make choices. Oh, that's on special. That's on special. Oh, Christmas decorations out. Maybe I'll grab a few. Yeah, it just really muffled the sound of food consumerism, because it's there, 10 kilos, that's a few pizzas, yeah. So that is sustainable for me to buy in bulk from that farmer for these sustainable reasons. So I'm taking you to my fridge to show you my next meaning of sustainable for these pizza tonight. And we open up the fridge here, and here I've got my Tupperware, the party platter thing that is filled up with already chopped veggies. I did a meal prep session on Monday, and in there I have chopped enough for pizzas tonight, soup yesterday, and Mexican wrap tomorrow. So rather than taking the time and the energy to cut each time I want to prepare a meal, you cut once, and I get to enjoy 3 times this week. May as well be there and do the job whilst I'm there. And to operate this way is sustainable for me and my family, because if I've done the job already, then I have mental space available in my busy mummy head, which is a time I can use to be more mindful and present at other time. If I didn't prepare like that in a batch for 3 meals, I would most likely have to do it on a day-to-day basis, or at that crazy crunch, tired, unsustainable time, like 4, 5, 3 o'clock kind of time, and that's not sustainable for me. So chopping veggies and preparing them that way this week for my pizza tonight has been sustainable for me for these reasons. So you can see that the word sustainable is not just because it protects my children's future. It is sustainable for a whole bunch of other reasons. Sustainable in the way that it creates special connection, and by creating special connection, we feel, my children, my family feel that we belong. And when you feel like you belong, you feel like you are loved. And when you feel like you are loved, you feel at peace, and you enjoy the journey of life in some way. So I know that's like deep philosophical thinking, but you see where I'm going with that. So in bringing sustainability in your family, it's not in your family's kitchen. It's not just for environmental reasons. It is for all these reasons, are just only 3 or 4 out of like a big list I could have. So maybe it is worth asking yourself, if you are working on building your sustainable whole food kitchen, what does sustainable mean for you and for your family? Is it sustainable because you have less conflicts in between your children at certain times, or you with your children at certain time, or you with your partner in the marriage situation, conflict that actually take origins in the kitchen? Do you two wish to connect with local community grown food, so you can enjoy the ripple effects of that very simple gesture of shaking the person that's feeds you's hand, or your children gets to? So yeah, that's just the example today, just with the pizza. And could have done it for my whole I could do it exposing about 3 hours. I reckon I'd be a bit tired about sustainability and what it means. So this is what it means for me tonight. These pizzas, they're simple, they're whole food base. A lot of the ingredients in it sourced locally and seasonally, and yes, sustainable mean much more than saving me money, saving me time, and saving the environment. The ripple effects are very, very interesting and bring so much gratitude and peace in my chaotic family kitchen.